The evening sun was dipping low across the sprawling fields of the Carson Ranch, turning the skies a burning shade of gold and crimson, while the smell of fresh hay and dust hung in the air. The ranch was the largest for miles, a place where cattle grazed endlessly, and the sound of horses' hooves echoed from the stables. It was a land of plenty, a land where the Carson name carried weight, power, and riches. And yet, just beyond the gates, trudging along the dirt road with a torn shawl pulled tightly around her thin shoulders, was a woman who had nothing left but hope and the stubborn will to keep going. Her name was Elena. Once, she had a family of her own, a small home, and a husband who promised forever. But fate had taken her husband in a mining accident, and the debts he left behind took the rest. She had wandered from town to town since then, seeking work, seeking food, sometimes just seeking kindness. More often than not, she was met with turned backs and locked doors. Now, with the autumn nights growing colder, she had one thought left in her mind: survive tonight, and maybe tomorrow would bring something better. When she reached the ranch, its wooden fences rising like sentinels against the evening sky, she hesitated. She knew the type of people who owned land like this: proud, suspicious of strangers, and rarely merciful. But her stomach growled so hard it almost hurt, and her legs trembled from days of walking with little rest. She saw the glow of the ranch house, lamps flickering in the windows, and she knew families were sitting down to supper. She imagined cornbread, hot stew, and the sound of laughter. Her chest tightened, not with jealousy, but with an ache so deep it was almost unbearable. She wasn't asking for much, just scraps, just a corner in the barn, maybe, to shield herself from the wind. That was all. Just scraps and a corner to sleep. She walked up the path, her feet dragging in the dirt, and when she reached the front porch, she lifted a trembling hand and knocked. The door creaked open, and standing there was not a stern old rancher ready to chase her away, but a man in his 40s with broad shoulders, dark hair streaked with silver, and tired blue eyes that seemed to size her up in an instant. This was James Carson, the owner of the ranch, a man whose reputation stretched far across the county. He was known for his wealth, his hard work, and his stubborn pride. He was also known for being a widower who had raised his daughter alone since his wife's death years ago. James looked at Elena, his brow furrowing as he took in her tattered dress, her hollowed cheeks, and the desperation in her eyes. "Can I help you?" His voice was deep, measured, the kind of voice that could either break or soothe, depending on the words he chose. Elena swallowed hard, clasping her hands together as if in prayer. "I don't mean to bother you, sir. I've been traveling a long way. I don't want money. I don't want trouble. I was just hoping, if